Well, good evening. My first question is, how did you all survive Friday's monsoon? Whoop. Oh, that message again, trying to reconnect. Well, just to heck with it. Anyway, I was pretty well flooded, and I'm still coping with the aftermath of it. But fortunately, tomorrow, my extraordinarily wonderful cleaning lady, Sylvia, will be here, and she'll wrestle the aftermath into submission. So anywho, it's lovely to get back to routine, and Tales and Cocktails is definitely part of my routine. Now this evening, for the sheer fun of it, poet, short story writer, critic, and renowned literary wit. She was obviously a member of the famed New York literary circle, the Algonquin Round Table. She was really quite amazing. So, tonight I'm going to read a short story of hers called The Waltz. Why, thank you so much. I'd adore to. I don't want to dance with him. I don't want to dance with anybody. And even if I did, it wouldn't be him. He'd be well down among the last 10. I've seen the way he dances. It looks like something you do on St. Walpurgis night. Just think, not a quarter of an hour ago, here I was the poor girl he was dancing with. And now I'm going to be the poor girl. Well, well, isn't it a small world? And a peach of a world, too. A true little corker. Its events are so fascinatingly unpredictable, are not they? Here I was minding my own business, not doing a stitch of harm to any living soul. And then he comes into my life, all smiles and city manners, to sue me for the favor of one. Why, he scarcely knows my name, let alone what it stands for. It stands for despair, bewilderment, futility, degradation, and premeditated murder. But little does he wot. I don't want his name either. I haven't any idea what it is. Jukes would be my guess from the look in his eyes. How do you do, Mr. Jukes? And how is that dear little brother of yours with the 2 heads? Oh, now why did he have to come around me with his low requests? Why can't he let me lead my own life? I ask so little, just to be left alone in my quiet corner of the table to do my eating. And he must come with his bows and his scrapes and his may I have this ones? And I had to go and tell him that I'd adore to dance with him. I cannot understand why I wasn't struck right down dead. Yes, and being struck dead would look like a day in the country compared to striking out a dance with this boy. But what could I do? Everyone else at the table had got up to dance except him and me. There was I, trapped like a trap in a trap. I ask you to dance with him. I most certainly will not dance with you. I'll see you in hell first. Why, thank you, I'd like to awfully, but I'm having labor pains. Oh yes, let's do dance together. It's so nice to meet a man who isn't a scaredy cat about catching my berry. No, there was nothing for me to do but say I'd adore to. Well, we might as well get it over with. All right, Cannonball, let's run it off. You can lead. Why, I think it's more of a waltz, really, isn't it? We might just listen to the music a second, shall we? Oh, yes, it's a waltz. Mine? Why, I'm simply thrilled. I'd love to waltz with you. I'd love to waltz with you. I'd love to waltz with you. I'd love to have my tonsils out. I'd love to be in a midnight fire at sea. Well, it's too late now. We're getting underway. Oh dear. Oh, dear. Oh, this is even worse than I thought. It was the one dependable law of life. Everything is always worse than you thought it was going to be. Oh, if I had any real grasp of what this dance would be like, I'd have held out for sitting it out. Well, it'll probably amount to the same thing in the end. We'll be sitting it out on the floor in a minute if he keeps this up. I'm so glad I brought it to his attention that this is a waltz they're playing. Heaven knows what might have happened. If he'd thought it was something fast, we'd have been blown out the sides blown the sides right out of the building. Why does he always want to be somewhere that he isn't? Why can't we stay in one place just long enough to constant rush, rush, rush? That's the curse of American life. That's the reason we're all of us so... Ow! For God's sake, don't kick! You idiot! This is only second down. Oh, my shin. My poor, poor shin that I've had ever since I was a little girl. Oh, no, no, no. Goodness, no. It didn't hurt the least little bit. And anyway, it was my fault. Really, it was. Truly. Well, you're just being sweet to say that. It really was all my fault. I wonder what I'd better do. Kill him this instant with my naked hands, or wait and let him drop in his traces? I guess I'll just lie low and watch the pace get him. He can't keep this up indefinitely. He's only flesh and blood. Die he must, and die he shall for what he did to me. I don't want to be of the oversensitive type, but you can't tell me that kick was unpremeditated. Freud says there are no accidents. I've led no cloistered life. I've known dancing partners who have spoiled my slippers and torn my dress, but when it comes to kicking, I am outraged womanhood. When you kick me in the shin, smile. Maybe he didn't do it maliciously. Maybe it's just his... I suppose I ought to be glad that one of us is having such a good time. I suppose I ought to think myself lucky if he brings me back alive. Maybe it's captious to demand of a practically strange man that he leave your shins as he found them. After all, the poor boy's doing the best he can. Probably he grew up in the hill country and never had no larnin'. I bet they had to throw him on his back to get shoes on him. It's simply lovely. It's the loveliest waltz, isn't it? Oh, I think it's lovely too. Why, I'm getting positively drawn to the triple threat here. He's my hero. He has the heart of a lion and the sinews of a buffalo. Look at him. Never a thought of the consequences, never afraid of his face, hurling himself into every scrimmage, eyes shining, cheeks ablaze. And shall it be said that I hung back? No, 1,000 times no. There's in a plaster cast. Come on, Butch, right through them. Who wants to live forever? Oh dear. Oh, he's all right, thank goodness. For a while, I thought they'd have to carry him off the field. Oh, I couldn't bear to have anything happen to him. I love him. I love him better than anybody in the world. Look at the spirit he gets into a dreary, commonplace waltz. How effete the other dancers seem. There's vigor and courage. He is strength and gaiety and... Ow! Get off my instep, you hulking peasant! What do you think I am anyway, a gangplank? Ow! No, of course it didn't hurt. Why, it didn't a bit. Honestly. And it was all my fault. You see, that little step of yours, well, it's perfectly lovely, but it's a tiny bit, just a tiny bit tricky to follow at first. Oh, did you work it up yourself? You really did? Well, aren't you amazing? Oh, now I think I've got it. Oh, I think it's lovely. I was watching you do it when you were dancing before. It's awfully effective when you look at it. I bet I'm awfully effective when you look at me. My hair is hanging along my cheeks. My skirt is swaddling about me. I can feel the cold damp of my brow. I must look like something out of the fall of the House of Usher. This sort of thing takes a fearful toll of a woman my age. And he worked up his little step himself. He with his tiny bit tricky at first, but now I think I've got it. 2 stumbles, slip, and a 20-yard dash. Yes, I've got it. I've got several other things too, including a split shin and a bitter heart. I hate this creature I'm chained to. I hated him the moment I saw his leering bestial face. And here I've been locked in his noxious embrace for the 35 years this world are never going to stop playing. Or must this obscene travesty of a dance go on until hell burns out? Oh, they're going to play another encore. Oh, goody. Oh, that's lovely. Tired? I should say I'm not tired. I'd like to go on like this forever. I should say I'm not tired. I'm dead. That's all I am. Dead, and in what a cause. And the music is never going to stop playing. And we're going to go on like this, double-time Charlie and I, throughout eternity. Care anymore after the first 100,000 years. I suppose nothing will matter then. Nor heat, nor pain, nor broken heart, nor cruel, aching weariness. Well, it can't come too soon for me. I wonder why I didn't tell him I was tired. I wonder why I didn't suggest going back to the table. I could have said, let's just listen to the music. Yes, and if he would, that would be the first bit of attention he has given it all evening. Joys of the waltz should be listened to in stillness and not accompanied by strange gyrations of the human body. I think that's what he said. I think it was George G. Nathan. Anyhow, whatever he said and whoever he was and whatever he's doing now, he's better off than I am. That's safe. Anybody who isn't waltzing with this Mrs. O'Leary's cow I've got here is having a good time. Still, if we were back at the table, I'd probably have to talk to him. Look at him. What could you say to a thing like that? Did you go to the circus this year? What's your favorite kind of ice cream? How do you spell cat? I guess I'm as well off here if I were in a cement mixer in full action. I'm past all feeling now. The only way I can tell when he steps on me is that I can hear the splintering of bones. And all the events of my life are passing before my eyes. There was the time I was in a hurricane in the West Indies. There was the day I got my head cut open in the taxi smash. There was the night the drunken lady threw a bronze ashtray at her own true love and got me instead. There was that summer that the sailboat kept capsizing. Oh, what an easy, peaceful time was mine, until I fell in with Swifty here it was, before I got drawn into this danse macabre. I think my mind is beginning to wander. It almost seems to me as if the orchestra was stopping. It couldn't be, of course. It could never be. And yet, in my ears, there is a silence like the sound of angel voices. Oh, they've stopped. The mean things. They're not going to play anymore. Oh, darn. Oh, do you think they'd go if you gave them $20? Oh, that would be lovely. And look, do tell them to play this same thing. I'd simply adore to go on waltzing. Dorothy Parker, The Waltz. It is such fun. I hope you've enjoyed it, my dears. Yes, and that is it for Tales and Cocktails tonight. I'm thinking maybe next week I'll start a novel, but we'll see. And that trying to reconnect notice keeps coming up. I don't know what's going on. If this broadcast has been interrupted, please let me know. If not, I'll just keep ignoring that little sign. Anyway, take care. I hope you got through, as I said, the deluge, the monsoon last Friday. I hope you got through it with no problems whatsoever. And I look forward to seeing you next Wednesday for Tales and Cocktails. Thank you so much, my dears. Good night.